Unmuted. All right. What's up, everybody?
Hello, hello, hello. And we are unmuted, yes?
And yes, we're unmuted, I hope. Can everybody hear us okay?
Yes.
Let us know in the chat.
Yep. Please do. Welcome to everyone. It is the Friday before Halloween.
Yeah.
So that's very exciting stuff.
Yes,
Hello to Caleb. Hello, Brian. Anthony dropped in to drop off some money and then leave because his brother's in from Canada.
Sweet.
Welcome to Knocker Joe. Glad to have you here. And it is our highlight of our Friday as well.
Sounds good.
And then also Jason Hole stopped in just to say that he was about to start his D&D game. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Yes.
Bosco, welcome. Scott.
Thank you, Bosco. I appreciate you prepping Revivify.
Yep.
Hopefully we don't need it because now we're hardwired. We're not using the other stuff. So.
Exactly. More Terradale. I do want to do another Terradale game. We don't have one planned for this year, though, sadly.
She needs to come.
Yeah, that would have been this week. And then also over on Twitch, welcome Casey, as usual, holding the line against the against the evils over there. We can draw some Terradale tonight. I'd be okay if we drew some Terradale stuff.
Yeah. Get rid of our thumbnail that is not finished.
Not quite finished yet.
And let's get some. That's not the one.
Did you finish your fiddlesticks?
Kind of.
Or your scarecrow?
Kind of. I messed with them a little bit longer, but I didn't get too much further.
Casey says, I'm hearing some music. Yes, we have music tonight.
Yes, we're using some Stream Beats, so thank you to Stream Beats, Harris Heller, Senpai Studios, all that fun. So let me know if the music's too loud. Yeah, notice us, Senpai. Notice us.
Yep. Yeah, he looks great from last time. That's awesome.
Save. Now I can delete.
Did you finish your fiddlestick? Sounds like something a mom would say. Yes. Uh-huh. Richard, welcome. Glad to have you tonight. Kanye West loves fish sticks.
Yes. All right, there we go.
That's an old that's an old South Park joke at this point. All right. So for those of you who are not aware, Terradale was a Halloween game that we played in which the players got to be a group of teenage supernatural hunters, as it were, and fighters. Basically, it was like Buffy, a little bit of all of those types of shows, a little bit of Supernatural, that sort of thing. Nice. All right, time to start my exercises, but I will still be here listening. Woo, woo, get on it.
Cool.
Finish your fiddlesticks, or you will have no whatchamacallits.
Not my whatchamacallits.
And if you haven't seen that episode, you should go check it out. I had a lot of fun with it. We all dressed up in Halloween costumes, and I do want to do another one. But I'm planning something a little different for the next one. So it's like, I won't spoil anything, but there will be a Terradel coming out before the end of the year. Yes, but it will not be a Halloween episode because Terradel doesn't have just Halloween issues. There's spooky shit going on there all the time,
all day, every day.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and start out. I think I want to get a suggestion or some opinions from chat. I want to know, there is a race of supernatural creatures in Terradale that kind of just live relatively in harmony. It's more about like they're hiding properly and they're not an issue to where they need to be cold every now and then. So I want to know what you guys think would be a good like supernatural creature that lives in Terradale but doesn't necessarily get hunted all the time. It's like a monster that actually lives in society for the most part. Slimes? You think slimes?
Like if you've ever cleaned out your dishwasher, at the very bottom, there's that thing comes out, and there's like that pink mold. It's like slime, it's just going through and nasty. Fungus.
I'm writing a few things down because Joe made a suggestion for a pumpkin beholder, and I think we should save that for later. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, somebody's saying fungus. Absolutely a Yeti. Okay, all right. I like this. You guys are also helping me just plan stuff for the next game.
What are you guys doing? You're giving him ammo. Stop it. What are you doing?
So let's see. We had like a chameleon, kind of like a chameleon, almost like you know how, I'm trying to think of a good example. You know how I don't know if you've seen iZombie, but like zombies exist, but unless they don't feed off of human brains all the time, they're actually just like normal people. They're just dead. So they kind of just like live underneath society or in hiding, that kind of thing that we're looking for.
iZombie was funny. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
Yeah, iZombie's great. Changelings. We could do some changelings. That's a good idea. I like the idea. So I like the idea of changelings, but I like their base form not being just like, because D&D changelings are basically like human with flat face, right? Blue man with flat face, like Odo from DS9. Yeah, I was actually thinking of their limbs being kind of longer, almost dragging on the ground, and having like shorter legs in their normal form. How does that sound? Drawing a kind of an elongated changeling. Something like the Borrowers. Ooh. Symbiotic or benign ghosts. There are some ghosts in Terradale that are benign. They possess people occasionally, or just a single family, to give them power. Oh, I'm just writing that down. That's an amazing idea.
Yoink.
Stolen. I do kind of like the idea of the Borrowers too. Literally under society, give them like a little like 6-inch people or something like that.
Yeah.
Borrower style tech spirits. Ooh.
Like brownies.
Yeah, like brownies. Yeah, you can have them like brownies.
Doppelgangers.
Yeah, I think
doppelgangers always fit in every setting.
Yeah, doppelganger in D&D is... Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for more than a shapeshifter. Or than like the not the shapeshifter, but the...
Changeling?
The changeling, the standard look. Because if you look up doppelganger, like they have longer arms. Like if you look up the 5th edition monster manual one, they have longer arms, and I kind of want to extend that even further, right? Like the arm, like the legs are maybe about half the height that it is. I'm sorry. Pull up a reference, and I'll describe this better.
Looking at it. Okay, got it.
So,
like
the upper half of the leg. Yeah, we want to extend the arms so they're dragging on the floor. and then the upper half of the legs that you see on there, make that more torso. Basically elongate the torso and shorten the legs.
More gorilla proportions.
Yeah, make him a little bit more gorilla-esque.
But spindly. Or
yes,
or
but spindly.
Still muscular.
Let's do spindly because they can just put on whatever muscle they want. Like,
right.
Yeah. Underminers, they are beneath everyone, but nothing is beneath them. That's a good one. That's a good joke. Gremlins, but bribable. Yeah, I do. So, okay. Terradale is expanded beyond just what you guys have seen. There is like a community of witches and warlocks that live within the city. And in fact, the local college used to be controlled by warlocks. Then the warlocks got murdered and it got taken over by a coven of witches. And now it's kind of, that coven of witches died, and now everything's just kind of like nice and easy. In fact, you know that the witches died. That was Tau Theta Tau, with their mother worm in Terradale. Pack of hyper-intelligent cats that follow a snow leopard leader. They were experimented on but escaped, which is how they managed to get up to the USA. Okay, can I write these? I'm just kind of taking these. I'll write them down, and they might find their way into Terradale. I do like Terradale is one of the settings that I do want to write books about. Yeah, building off what Richard said, you could go with like dragon or animal spirits bound to specific humanoids. Agreed. I have that as a thing that's happened before. So that's wonderful. Sentient plants that are mostly benign. I like that as well. There is a little bit of Fey Court presence in Terradale, but not enough that I'm willing to, or that I'm ready to divulge what the individuals are, just because I need to research more Fey stuff. Y'all ever see that episode of SG-1 where Teal'c almost becomes a hive body thing? I have not. I'm currently going through SG-1.
Been a long time. I vaguely remember it, but yes.
But there is actually in the book version of Terradale, the Tau Coven actually gets because I need to change this up because I used the same coven of witches and people for both the one shot and the story that I wrote, so I need to change one of them. But basically, they are pledging new witches, and one of them tries to get her friend away from there because she realizes how evil they are, and they curse her to be a familiar. And the story revolves around her trying to break free from the coven and find a way to talk to her friend again, so that they can help take it down. And it's a really good story. I need to actually write it out. I've got the broad strokes of it in place, but it was a lot of fun to come up with. So I need to do a little bit more of that. And I keep just getting sidetracked by everything else. But what I wanted to say is that there is, underneath the library at the college, there is a market that is kind of like the Golden Army market, where it's like, but it's for like familiars, gremlins, brownies, that sort of thing. It's actually run by brownies. And it's all about just like trading magical material down there. And I think I just called it the familiar market.
Are you familiar with the familiar market?
Hey Zod. Yeah, feel free to take anything. At least I don't have any issues with you using anything said here, that's for sure. Curse like Binks? Yes, exactly. Very much like Binks in the original Hocus Pocus. Yeah, that was a little bit of the inspiration there. And that was because I was writing it with my wife, and she really likes the concept of the human trapped in the familiar body. So we were talking through that, and she really liked the whole black cat idea. So
yeah, have you guys ever seen Guillermo del Toro's Troll Hunters?
Is that the Tales of Arcadia, right?
Yeah,
because you said Troll Hunter, and I was like,
Troll Hunters was the first one. I think.
Yeah, I was like the Netherlands, or the one that's all in subtitle with the giant trolls. No, yeah, I've seen a few of it.
Some of their familiars and like the switching.
We're under attack.
A little bit more. Under attack. Oh, guys, I've never found love, but if I'm gonna find love, it's through a random bot on the internet.
Yep.
You know it.
Hide user on this channel. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I got it. We're good.
Don't you worry, guys. Constable Cory's on the case.
Thank you for holding the line, Vanguard. I appreciate it.
But I mean, if we had to call in a Justicar, it'd probably be let's see, Justicar, Tick Knocker Joe.
Ooh, you're making somebody a Justicar now? Cyber Paladin is a fun idea that more people should use. I do like that idea, yeah. One of the spells that you need to give them as an additional spell is Wall of Fire. I thought it was a nice name too. The familiar market just sounds like a cozy place, you know.
Sounds like a cozy place. It's full of...
Sounds like it. It's got gremlins in it, so how cozy can it be? Yeah, I need to write that book out a little bit more. I probably need to adjust some of the... Well, so basically, if I were to write this book out and put it out there, it would be the same setting but unrelated to Terradale with everybody else, because I don't like taking somebody's like PC character that they made and trying to make a story with it. Like, that always feels like I need a lot of permission to do different things with the character that I just don't want to do. So that, like, it'll be a separate from but using similar character names kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's how you spell Justicar. Or it's Justicare with an I. Justicare?
Reminds me of Instant Care.
Yeah. You spelled it exactly the same way, Scott, and then left an asterisk. So were you correcting me there? Because according to this, it is spelled like that normally. I spell mine without that extra I at the end. Because
I spell mine with a silent Z.
It's even pronounced Justicure, apparently. So that might not even be Justicar. Yeah, no, okay. It's both. The answer's kind of both. Yeah. Just remember to steal from 3 more places and smash it all together. Oh, there's like 10 different places that this is stolen from. I love the concept of a very magical world to the point where it's almost like mundane, right? Where there's things happening that you're just kind of like, oh yeah, this is normal now. So, yeah. So I envision Fey folk are humans who are suspicious of others, and now saying it sort of like a thieves' can situation. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, where they basically have their own little like extra language underneath. That's pretty cool. Hey, Jake, welcome.
Welcome to the party.
Yes, flying pigs are normal. Everybody knows that. Okay, so I wanted to follow up tonight on something that I said I would do, and it's not watching the new Evil Dead movie, because I still need to do that before it leaves.
Tisk, tisk.
But I had convinced, or I had agreed to watch Puppet Master #1 with my wife.
Okay.
And we ended up watching all of them.
How was
Not because they are good movies.
it?
Not at all. Sorry I've missed so much. No worries at all. We're just happy to have you. So we watched Puppet Master #1, I think like Tuesday. And then she just was like, we should watch the next one. I was like, okay, sure, we'll put it on. And we just kept watching. New Evil Dead movie as in 2013.
Yeah.
The 2013 remake.
And Caleb, yeah. I agree.
Anthony asked me to watch it before it left. So, well, not at all. We have a couple left. Oh, that's true. We do have a couple left. #1 was interesting in the fact that the whole puppet concept was secondary to the main plot, in my opinion. Like, yes, the main villain's plan was to basically inhabit his old body and use it as a puppet after he died. Spoiler alert for this extremely old show for anybody who wanted to see it. But most of the movie revolved around a group of psychics that knew the main bad guy in life, and like them wandering around his hotel looking for a mystery. Basically, it's weird. It's just anyway. And then #2 is more normal. It's just kind of like a follow-up to that one where they're going through the hotel and finding a new mystery. And in fact, I think the actual Puppet Master is the villain in that one, because the Puppet Master in the first one shoots himself. Spoiler and trigger warnings for everybody. But he shoots himself to get away from the Nazis in the first one. But then the puppets bring him back in the second one, and the whole plot is him trying to bring his wife back. And so that one was kind of like fine. That's your typical horror movie that was whatever. Then the third one changes gears completely and shows us the Puppet Master fighting Nazis, like full on. Like in World War II, they kill his wife and he goes on a rampage and sends his puppets after the Nazis and like turns them into basically the hero. And that's like 4 and 5 also do the same thing. They have the same sort of cadence where the puppets are actually the heroes fighting against like an evil demon. And then from there, it kind of just goes off the rails. #6 is completely unrelated to everything else other than it has the puppets in it. It ends really weird. I talked about it last time. The one after that is like a flashback to how the Puppet Master met his wife. And then #8, which was done in 2004, is 75 to 80% clip show from the previous movies, which I don't get. I mean, it's an easy way to make a movie, that's for sure, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it sounds like they had an interesting idea and then they just wanted to keep making money off it.
Yeah.
What it sounds like.
Yep. And then the one after that, it's a sci-fi movie with Cory Feldman in it. So, and that one's like a crossover with another property that the same company created. Bosco says he loves the curvature on the spine on this.
Thanks.
And then Joe says he thinks the arms that are in a nice between being normal and getting so long as to make the subject look oafish, which is really cool.
Yep. And then I figured the hands are going to be nice and big, kind of, I don't know, trollish, like, or witchish, or I don't know how you want to say it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, Mind Stuff Scary. I don't get scared by so-called scary movies. Might be because I watched them as a kid. Can't take them in a serious way anymore. I wish I had that. I have unfortunate lizard brain that definitely likes to attack me with horror if I watch a scary movie or some. It depends on the movie. Like Puppet Master, not scary at all. It's a dumb little creature feature with in the vein of. Did you ever see Prehysteria, Preston? Basically, a rich kid finds tiny dinosaurs in that movie, and they're all done in like puppetry.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't remember the name. That's the one. And then there's like a long neck, and they're trying to hide him in his backyard or something.
Yeah. They're basically trying to hide them, and they hide them as like a diorama and make them hold still.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Preston, why are you from the Hidden Leaf? Jake asks.
Because Date Bio, I don't know. I've got the Naruto stuff in there. Weird. Travis Willingham, you might freak out with these.
I like the idea of the apathy creature, Caleb. That's really cool. Kind of one of those creatures that's just like, yes, I am monstrous, but you just don't care.
Right. Yeah, this little forehead protector is usually hooked to this little thing, and I was going to wear a beanie, but I figured I'd dress it up a little bit, have some fun. Since it's Halloween, we got to be a little more eclectic.
Yeah, crap. I was
put your beard on. It's behind you.
Yep, I'll put the beard on. How about that? For a little bit. It gets really hot.
Save it. Duplicate layer. Hide that one. Try some perspective. Fun. Maybe a little extreme.
And then the headphones to ruin it.
Fireball.
There we go. Now we're ready for the... Oh, no. Is this backwards? This is backwards. Hang on just a second.
Oh, no. Yeah, I agree, Zod. Travis is hilarious. Like when he gets scared, and his laugh is really genuine, too. I love it. What is is this Sarge, or what's your alter ego while wearing said beard?
Oh. Hold on.
Is the monster aware that it is a monster? Why does it do what it does? That's true. Because
what is the...
Is it killing for the sake of killing? Bloodlust? Hunger?
Is it actually killing, or is it just absorbing energy? Maybe what type of energy does apathy absorb?
Maybe it's pity. It pities the creatures. It pities the fools.
Wait, you have a beard on already? This is a better beard. I am a dwarf, and I am digging a hole. Thank you very much. This is actually a Christmas gift from my dear brother. You know him. He has one too, but
Who's he?
It's very warm. It is extremely warm. Yes. Just trying to live its life. Yeah, it's one of those things where I like the idea of it being like this kind of big hulking creature. Again, like I don't know why, but I'm seeing very gorilla-esque, but it carries deliveries on its back, and it's basically like a delivery driver. Left horn is in front of the headphones, but it's not fitting correctly. No, yeah, I know. There's no way to get them like if I do this, I suppose it's hard to... Yeah, whatever. Good enough. So apathy is Bigfoot. Yeah, he's just the Sasquatch. He's the actual Sasquatch. And then every now and then there's somebody that can see through his disguise, and that's where you get these Sasquatch pictures from. There's always an interesting thing when you're talking about like old creatures, and you're discussing how they would be in the new age, like...
What's scary then it doesn't translate sometimes.
Yeah, and it's like there's a lot of stuff that gets developed that you're like, how does this react? Like vampires, for example. It's like, do they show up on video camera? Do they show up on pictures, etc.?
Yeah, like if it's a mirrorless camera, do you still see them, or?
Yeah.
Maybe the inventor of the mirrorless camera was a vampire because they wanted to hide better.
I imagine apathy probably is very kindly and dotes on children and helps the elderly, but gets wrongfully accused of something. Aw, he's just trying to help, guys. He's being hunted by a guy so jaded that hunting real-life cryptid against all odds is the only thing that brings him joy. Ooh, yeah. I love the whole, like, false monster thing. If you guys haven't seen Werewolf by Night. You should check it out. It's on Disney Plus if you have it, but it's really awesome.
Speaking of Disney Plus, and speaking of someone bringing up Doctor Who in the chat, you guys see the news about Doctor Who coming to Disney Plus?
Really?
Yeah, they've struck a deal with BBC.
That is very exciting. Yeah, Richard, it was actually really good. I enjoyed it a lot, and to be honest, you don't need to be in the Marvel know in order to enjoy it. Giving it a bigger budget, yeah, that would help. Yep, but allowing the creators to keep control of it, yeah. Is David Tennant back?
Yes.
He's coming back. Well, I mean, like...
I'll be quiet.
Okay.
Spoilers! If you haven't seen it already.
Brennan Lee Mulligan's Fantasy High is a great modern adaptation of fantasy. I agree. He does a really good job in that one. Brennan is amazing. Like, he is one of the greatest DMs of our generation, in my opinion. Besides Preston.
I love how freaking smart he is. Like, the things that he comes up with, and he's like, yes, it's this, and it's because it's this congealed, and he'll just like go off on this rant that he just like pulls out of his butt, and you go look it up, and you're like, you know what? He's absolutely right. Like,
yeah, he nailed that right on the head. That's for sure.
He wasn't making that up at all.
Yeah. Eccleston is my favorite Doctor. Yeah, what's everybody's favorite Doctor? Let's get some docs in the chat. I am actually a Tennant fan myself.
I'm a Tennant fan as well.
Yeah.
Tennant, Sam Smith was good. I don't think he did bad. I just didn't connect.
I think you mean Matt Smith.
Sorry, Matt Smith.
Sam Smith's a music guy.
Matt Smith.
Musical artist.
So I connected more with David Tennant than I did the other Doctors. But,
yeah.
And I don't know
David
if
Tennant felt
Rose
a little bit
Tyler
more
but I don't know.
Yeah. And that's true. Like, obviously, the companions also make or break the Doctor, right?
Yeah. What was that red-haired lady's name? She's older.
River?
No, not River Tam. She was
Song. River Tam's from Firefly.
Sorry, yeah, another one. River Song. It was the lady, and she had her old grandpa. I liked the grandpa, but I didn't like her as a companion. She just annoyed me.
That was 10th Doctor, right?
Yeah, the grandpa that was always looking at his telescope, and then at the very end, he sees
Donna Noble.
Yeah, Donna. Oh my gosh, Donna.
Bosco, you don't have to hand in your nerd card. I haven't watched Doctor Who either. I've seen a few episodes here or there, but I haven't watched it either.
Now, if you're a real Whovian, you go watch the original ones and see how bad they were.
That was kind of why I never watched Doctor Who, is because I was like, I'm going to miss out on so much if I don't watch the originals, and I don't want to do that.
Just start it, what's his name? With
Enjoy
the
this. Thanks, Jake, for stopping in.
Just before David Tennant. You start there, and you'll be fine. Everything else.
Yeah. The Eccleston run and then move on from there. Karen Gillan, yeah, she does a really good job.
Yeah,
Amy Pond.
Karen, yep. And the Impossible Girl, and I liked her. I honestly, the ones I did like the Silence, and I liked some of the other villains that they had and like the depictions from Matt Smith's Doctor, but
yeah.
It's just. What you guys, Eccleston's onboarded the show. Favorite Tom Baker.
Tom Baker is always a good choice in my opinion.
Very charming.
Yep. I actually do like what's his name? He's the War Doctor.
The older guy
died recently. John Hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Hurt. He's only in it for a short time, but he's pretty awesome. Blink episode is still scary for me. I need to watch all of these.
Don't blink.
The only episode that I really remember too much is the Moisturize Me episode.
Oh,
which has helped me a lot in the meme landscape. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's funny. Moisturize
John
Me.
Hurt is always amazing. There is an old show where he plays kind of narrator host to old Greek myths that the wife and I watched a while back, and they basically just do retellings of Greek myths with TV cast and etc. but they're really good. I really enjoyed those. Casey, do you remember the name of those? Yeah, he's the storyteller. Is it just called the storyteller?
Page Master. Wait, wrong cartoon.
Storyteller TV series. It's Jim Henson. That's right. It's a Jim Henson thing. Starring John Hurt. Michael Gambon's also in it. Brian Henson was there too. So, yeah, it is. I love that it's a Jim Henson joint. The puppeteer. Henson, it's just the storyteller.
Yeah, the storyteller. Didn't Jim Henson also do? Who did Tales of the Crypt?
That wasn't Henson. That was,
who was the studio that did that one.
Tales of the Jedi? No, Tales of the Crypt.
Tales of the Jedi. I need to catch up on that one.
I know it was on like HBO. I think is who hosted it, but I don't know what studio.
I remember that one. That one and Are You Afraid of the Dark? Those are two staples of terror in my house.
Yeah. Horror anthology. Yeah, it just says that it was created by William Games and Steve Dodd, and then it's based on the Tales from the Crypt, like cartoon or not cartoons, comics.
Gotcha.
Jim Henson was a treasure and a sociopath. Yep, probably. Is that my magic collection behind me? It is. That is indeed the magic collection. All of my fun commander decks that I've purchased. The 2 or 3 boxes or so of different new sets that have come out. Most of it is Forgotten Realms. Danny Elfman did the theme song for Tales. Oh, okay. So a little bit of a relation there. But I do have for a fact, Bosco, that Scott just purchased multiple Dominaria United booster boxes to come to the house that he wants to open. So I have not purchased any of those, but I've been playing a lot of Magic Online, so I have cards. Do you have a Black Lotus? I wish. My cousin had a Mox Pearl, one of the Moxes, for some time. Not one of like the original set, but it was like beta or something like that. And he ended up it ended up getting ruined by like his cat or something like that. It was not fun. It was kind of it hurt. It hurt to hear that for sure. Tales from the Aneria. Yes. I would love to do a tiny little horror anthology series, Tales from the Aneria. I still have to work on all of my other short stories that I've told people that I've been working on. Whoops. This guy's looking great, Preston. I love the look of it. And I like how that mouth is so like stretchy and cool.
I'm trying to incorporate more stretchy too, because I feel like that's kind of makes it uneasy when you feel that skeletal kind of structure start to poke through.
Mm-hmm.
Gives him a vibe where he's like meaty, he's got muscles, but he's also like kind of, his stomach is odd shaped and all kinds of fun.
You know what? I should just stream like this all the time. This will be my VTuber avatar.
All right, everyone, here we go.
Welcome.
I am.
Let's get started. If you decided to do VTubing, what would you make your avatar? Never mind. Your name is Fuzzy Squirrel. I think I know where this is going.
Whenever I go into Twitch chats, my favorite thing to do is I have this little monologue that I write every time, and it's usually follows the format of like, you see a flash on the hill, the thunder begins to roll. As the rain begins to pitter-patter, you see a figure flash in the distance at the top of the hill. It flashes again, and you see before you a little fuzzy squirrel has entered the chat. And yeah, I'd probably do something. Yeah, some squirrel,
just a little like tiny squirrel in the corner that bounces up and down.
Squirrel with like mental issues. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd love to do I'd love to do either a. I have a plan for like a. I mean, I probably shouldn't say if I decide to do VTubing, then people would know who I am.
It's true.
But it would be really cool to do like a dragon, like one of those like maybe like an Eastern dragon, but the actual like art goes around the frame until it comes down to where the VTuber normally is, and it's just like the shins on head standing there and the mouth opening and closing. Like that would be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
By the way, Cory, your Victor impression was spot on. For a second, I thought Preston had made it to the table late.
Sweet.
I'm glad to hear that. I think he's the one voice that I can actually do pretty well. Technically, I can kind of do Jowly Aloma a bit, but and then I'm still having trouble pinpointing Dallin's accent to try and like emulate that if I need to. But yeah, as far as it goes with they were asking Victor to do stuff, and I was like, okay, I guess I shall. You know, kind of. Yeah. It really is pretty easy. You just kind of have to wheeze your voice a little bit and
just
go
wheeze it and
Russian.
Give it a little Russian. That's it.
Yep.
Not too hard.
That's why I chose it.
Dad, do you have a beard I could wear? That's coming from your daughter, by the way.
Oh, my daughter?
Yes.
A beard you can wear?
That wasn't just somebody calling me daddy for the first time. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Still waiting for that day.
PFR, yes, that is my daughter. She's sitting behind me. No, I don't have a beard you can wear. You can grow your own.
Aloma just used his cranky old neighbor voice. Yeah, he's
I'm not.
It's it's Sunday morning, and you got to get that. You got to get your trash out and
yeah, he does the meandering.
Yep,
a lot.
Which is funny because I think he's like the youngest, except for maybe Aramis. Yeah. Like he's the youngest character at this point. But yeah, he's definitely got that. He decided to go into the whole like dogs have kind of a muzzle and jowls, so I'm just gonna go with that.
Yeah, he pushes his thing forward and he kind of moves into it.
Spoiler for the episode we just recorded, which you'll see in a few weeks here, but we had a conversation between Aloma and another jowly character that I created, Mungo. So that should be fun for everybody to watch.
The Jowling, as it will be further called.
Get off my lawn, gas spirit guardians. You gotta do a bad anime beard. What is a bad anime beard?
Oh man, if you want to see a bad anime beard, go look at my TikTok. They had this filter, and if you already have a beard, it like puts the anime face on top, and then you have this really funky looking neck beard that sticks out from the bottom of it. So none of those filters actually work if you have a beard.
I typed in bad anime beard, and the top pictures that came up were, one of them was Goku when he has his beard.
Oh gosh.
And like the fourth one is Yugi's grandpa, and I'm like, that doesn't look too bad of a beard. What are you talking about? Hold on, I'm sure there's a list. Top 5 bearded badasses in anime. Best bearded characters. Impressive beards. Nope, apparently not. Yeah. The Merchant Slug. I like that he's kind of he does kind of feel like a slug, doesn't Mungo? Was my inspiration for a death spirit that's a slug. I'm glad. I like Mungo. I'm glad that people like him too. Yeah, no, there's no bad anime beard list. If I type in list, does it come up? Best anime characters, top 5 badasses. Nope. Yeah. Sorry guys, there's no terrible beards in anime apparently. You're all wrong.
And there's no bad anime. No, just kidding. There's a lot of bad anime.
Mungo the Merchant Slug. Is there actually like a Mungo in Fallout then? Mungo is the term for the children in Little Lamplight use for adults. Okay. Bad anime is part of the fun of anime. It really is.
It's true.
Yes,
it's so true. It's like Chainsaw Man, right? I fully go into expecting to have that willing suspension of disbelief, and that it's going to be ridiculous, and it's just going to be silly and whatever, and people on the internet are just losing their minds over it.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, I'm trying to pull up. I want to log in so I can see your latest TikTok.
Oh, you don't? It's not late. It's not my latest one. It was probably 2 years ago, during the pandemic when everybody's locked up.
Fuzzy Squirrel.
Fuzzy Squirrel.
Fuzzy Squirrel TV. Let's see. Oh yeah, your latest one was the Rogue one.
Yeah.
Which we should post on. We should post that on Tales as a short.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody would love to see that. Okay, so we've got Preston with a hair filter,
That's pretty
but
far
not
down,
a facial hair filter. Let's see. Oh, are you talking about the... Oh, okay, yeah. The one where it gives you the anime face?
Yeah, the anime face, and then your beard's like poking out underneath it. It's just, I don't know, it's weird. I didn't like it at all.
Yeah, that's weird. That is definitely weird. Casey says super cool drawing, and I agree. Weirdest anime a friend showed me. Please, teacher. I liked it though. That sounds like one of those animes that I need to watch on my own rather than with anybody. The setting of the series, though, left unsaid. The plot mainly revolves around a tight-knit group of friends in high school and how they cope with several life-changing events that are never too far off from intimate relationships. The main character is a boy named Kei Kasunagi, who suffers from a very rare disease which causes a comatose state referred to as a standstill whenever he is under severe emotional distress. Okay, so it's kind of just like a slice of life school anime. Is it a lotion anime? Oh, geez, that's a wonderful name for it. I like how they basically were like, hey, you know that trope where when the main character gets talked to by a girl, they kind of freeze up and don't do anything? Let's just make that a disease. And then every anime in the future, when somebody does that, they'll be like, oh, he's got that standstill syndrome.
Yeah, it's like those paralyzed goats. Every time something like scares them, they all kind of fall over.
My anime protagonist is a paralyzed goat. Oh, okay. All right, fine. You get one season.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this man a medal.
Awesome. I think this guy turned out really well, Preston.
Thanks.
I love the look of him. And I love obviously, like, there's more than just this one doppelganger around. But yeah, I like the idea that these guys just kind of linger in society. Now, I'm going to do the request here for the next one because I want to see that pumpkin beholder. I think that is a fantastic idea.
Pumpkin beholder.
Yep.
Line.
Exactly. Oh yes. Don't worry about him. He's just got that standstill syndrome. He'll be okay. What is your favorite anime of all time, Preston?
There's a lot.
Oh, I know.
There's a lot. I'd say if I had to choose like one specific episode of one specific scene, I really liked in How to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon at the very end, the very last part of the season, when Bel Crenel awakens his Argonaut kind of ability.
Okay.
I'm a sucker for martyrs. In like everything. I'm a sucker for that kind of narrative of being able to say, like, you know, giving yourself to the greater good, or like trying to sacrifice for other people.
The greater good.
And that kind of stuff. ReZero is good. I liked Gate. I liked Bofuri. If you like silly animes, that one's hilarious. I think the American version is I didn't want to get hurt, so I maxed out my defense. It's an
Oh
MMO.
yeah, I've heard of that one.
That was good. Yeah, there's lots of them. There's an really old one called the Record of the Lotus War or Lotus War.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a very long list. I could go for a
Oh,
while.
yeah.
So
Richard
what about you?
Watt says three-way tie: Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, and Outlaw Star.
Ooh, those are
The
great.
space cowboy trifecta.
Those are great. I agree.
Trigun is definitely up there as one of my favorite animes.
Yes, Trigun was good.
Yep. There's my anime viewing is more limited than most, just because I haven't it takes me a long time to get through an anime. I've really enjoyed Fairy Tail. Yeah, it's campy and cheesy at times, but
Yeah, Fairy
I
Tail was
like
good.
I like it. There's a lot of good fight scenes in that.
Did you watch Eden Zero? That's a newer one. It's made by the same creator.
Yeah, see, I haven't actually made it through Fairy Tail all the
Oh.
way. I'm like halfway
when
through
you're
it.
finished, a couple of the characters, there's cameos in it, and there's a very similar kind of like structure of the people that are in it.
Mhm.
But it's made by the same creator, and it's the premise where it's more like, it reminded me of what's that one? Spelljammer. It reminds me of Spelljammer,
Oh, okay.
but
Cool.
it's definitely campy. It's the same thing. It teases about stuff, and it's a lot of fun.
I would say that my favorite anime that I love pulling out on people because nobody's ever seen it is Martian successor to Nadesco. And it's about a crew of a spaceship, and one of the guys that gets on it he's not supposed to be there, like the main character isn't supposed to be there, but they're teaching him how to like operate the spaceship and everything like that.
Uh-huh.
And it's just this really cool like one season anime with just some really good fight scenes, and the ship looks really cool in it.
Cool.
We've got Bosco says, here's the shocker, my favorite anime is Food Wars.
Food Wars. I'd heard good things about it. I haven't watched it. What'd you think? Or what was the thing that drew you to it?
And then also Richard Watts says, Preston, you look like Lodos from Deedlit.
Yes.
Admit it.
Yes.
Welcome back, Joe. Yep,
Oh,
we're talking anime.
Another
Favorite
great,
anime.
another great one. If you haven't watched it, it's really funny. And there's definitely like fan service in it. But what is it called? Sacred Blacksmith. The beginning and ending song from that one, I think, is just so hilarious. It's like this. One of the characters is kind of like running along, and she keeps tripping over and over. And so in the song, she's like, "Oof, oof," and like it's her. And like by the end of the song, she's like crying at the end of the credits. It's hilarious. It's my favorite.
I love little weird like end credits
Yes.
for that kind of stuff. Brian P says Samurai Champloo.
That's one I still need to watch, actually. And don't hate me, Cowboy Bebop's another one that I did not watch or get into, but it's on my list.
Yeah. Actually, I was watching Edge Runners the other day.
Yes.
Gotta
finish
and
it. Oh, so good.
yeah, I know I gotta finish it. And I turned to Scott and I'm like, the opening in this sounds very like Cowboy Bebop inspired. Because that Cowboy Bebop, yeah, I haven't seen an episode of Cowboy Bebop, but I know that opening. I know that that jazz, you know. Any of you like Hellsing, since we're in the Halloween mood here?
Hellsing, yeah.
Brian P says Edge Runners was okay.
Yeah,
Ooh, just
it's-
okay.
It's I think it's polarizing. So
Yeah.
it was yeah.
Ulysses 31 was something I watched as a kid. Seemed good.
I'm
Never
not
heard
gonna-
of
I won't
Ulysses
ruin
31?
anything for anybody. What
Yeah.
about did you guys ever finish what is that one called? Not Hellsing, Castlevania. Did you guys finish Castlevania?
No, we haven't finised
Oh, it's so
Castlevania
good,
yet.
the very
I know,
end.
I know. It's on my list.
There's some points
That-
in there too, like, and when you see it, when Dallin and I were talking for some of the Bronze Battalion, some of the stuff that he and I had talked about for like plot points
Mhm.
for the two of us, there's some of that comes from that, so you'll start to see similarities. But oh man, it was so good.
Nice. Also, if we're talking about fan service, I have to give a shout out to the weirdest anime that I've ever seen, but I can't believe that I watched like the whole season of it, and that is Whip Hip Girl,
Oh,
Keijo.
yeah.
I watched that full season,
Yeah.
and it is the weirdest, most hilarious anime that I think I've ever seen. That is definitely lotion anime, as we are calling it. Do not watch it with any sort of other family in the room that you can stand to not watch it with.
The Little Witch Academia. There was one that was like these strike witches. That's
Little Witch
another one I
Academia?
watched. This one was like
No.
they were like in the Navy, and they would have these. They were fighting basically these Ender's Game type alien ships that would come in, and they had these augmented. It was really weird. Still wearing a beard, Casey says.
Yep, still wearing the beard. It's actually not too warm up here, so it's helping me. Yeah.
Yugi, Fooly Cooly, Fooly Cooly was good. It was weird, but it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Neon and Evangelion, I liked it until I watched the 2 movies after. Those just drove me insane. It drove me absolutely insane. I don't and I know why he did it, because he's whatever, but
Scott's wondering if the one you're talking about is a certain magical railgun.
Railgun?
Probably not then.
I don't recall a railgun. I just remember it was like
sorry. Certain magical index is what it's called.
Oh.
A certain scientific railgun is the follow-up to it.
Oh, gotcha. I'll have to look. I don't remember. It was, I think that was forever ago. It was probably on like Crunchyroll, or at the time I was probably not even Crunchyroll. It was probably one of those Project Free TV or something. I mean, I never watch illegal TV. Never mind.
What was the other one? Card Captor Sakura.
Yeah, Card Captor Sakura.
Yep, I loved that growing up.
What is your... Now, here's a question for everybody. What is your most guilty pleasure anime? One that you know is terrible, but you love it anyway.
Oh, I just told you mine. It's Whip Hip Girl.
Whip Hip Girl, yeah.
Yep.
So who else?
Also, Rosario Vampire is very much like my guilty pleasure anime. That one is very much just like monster slice of life and very borderline stuff. My Bride is a Mermaid.
Bride is a Mermaid, okay.
Bosco says.
Berserk, yes, Zod. I'm reading the manga. Which one are you referring to? Is it the newer one or the older one?
Also, it's on the subject of guilty pleasure ones. Sword Art. It's not typically like it's a popular anime, but Sword Art Online is
Sword Art.
One of those ones where you're kind of like everybody likes it and it's become kind of tropey to like it, you know. I know, Casey. I know you can't stand anime. I've tried to get her to watch so many of them, and we get like one episode in, and she's just like, "This is dumb."
Does she like more? It sounds like from the other ones, she likes scary movies.
Yeah, like she liked Castlevania when we watched it. It didn't have as much of the
she want more
the bad
horror?
anime tropes.
There's definitely some horror ones she could explore.
As long as there's not like I think comedy is one of the things that she doesn't quite mesh well with the anime comedy, because it very much is over the top.
Yeah,
right.
It makes fun of itself, and it's the way that it does it. Yeah.
Yeah. We did start Parasite. That's true, and you did like Parasite. Although that has some weird comedy in it too. Also, I watched Dead Man Wonderland. I watched like the first couple episodes of that. That one's not too bad.
You started watching Goblin Slayer, right?
Yeah, I watched the first episode of Goblin Slayer. I watched the subbed version, and I want to try the dubbed version. I need to have Scott get me that. Scott, this is your reminder to give me that. I need to put it at the top of the list, but yeah. But yeah, she might like Blue Gender. No, I'm not sitting through Blue Gender again. I hate that anime. I don't like it. It's just it's very much like it's very nihilistic. And I'm not watching. I don't watch Gundam. I don't like Gundam at all. I know that's my hot take for anime. But I do not like the style for Gundam Wing. I think it's very, very bad.
About Tenchi Muyo.
I'm already on it right now. Perfect. Great. So I want to watch the first episode of Goblin Slayer dubbed and compare the two and just see which one I like better. It's probably going to be dubbed because I don't have to pay attention as much. That's typically how I go with anime. This hat is really itchy. That's the big problem. Don't like Gundam, but what about Zoids? I don't think I've seen Zoids.
Yeah, that one. So I like the older one, the one that came out on Toonami. That was the first anime I think I watched that had heavy CG in it that I was okay with.
I like Mecha, just not Gundam. Yeah, same. Like, Mecha's really cool. Gundam is a bit too serious for me.
Yeah, melodramatic. I'm not one for melodramatic.
So what is this character again? So this character, Casey, is... these are doppelgangers, shapeshifters that basically take on human form that live in secret in Terradale. And this is their natural form. My stepbrother gave me a DVD of Beast Wars. Never watched it. Doubt it's for me. Beast Wars, I'm pretty sure is cool. Yeah, that's my first thought, but I don't think it's that. I think there's an anime Beast Wars 2. Nope, that's a Transformers one. Let's see. Beast Wars Neo? Nope, that's also kind of Transformers. Yep, that's Transformers. I have a feeling I know the one you're talking about, but I'm not sure if it's Beast Wars. Like Pacific Rim style mecha, yeah, big giant mecha. I'm actually a big fan of smaller mecha myself. I do like maybe it's like 8 foot tall, 10 foot tall. I've never seen Gurren Lagann. I thought Gurren Lagann went all the way to bigger than universes or galaxies.
It gets bigger, but the first one that he encounters is small. It's person size-ish. Size of a small car.
Guilty pleasure anime from Richard, My Himi. Never heard of that one. I'm sure I'm gonna love it. Japanese series premiered. Casey, did you ever watch Sailor Moon? Did you like Sailor Moon at least? Because that's technically anime.
Inuyasha? Sailor Moon, Inuyasha are Becca's favorites. Becca's my wife.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never seen Inuyasha. Beast City is what it's called. Okay.
What's the one? I love. What's it called?
Definitely not the one I was thinking about.
She's got the. It's a mecha anime, but it's basically the premise is that two people have to pilot, a man and a woman, to be able to pilot the.
Oh, that one.
What was that one called?
I don't know the anime. I've seen scenes from that one though.
That one's another one.
It wasn't bad as a kid, but I don't know if I'd like it now that I'm older. Yeah, that makes sense. My dad loves Sailor Moon. Good. My ex was obsessed with Sailor Moon and Inuyasha. Not a fan personally. And sometimes like having an ex that really enjoyed something can color you on that kind of stuff, you know?
That's true. This is like Jeeps. There's a lot of people that I knew that I didn't get along with very well that had Jeeps, and nothing against Jeep people. I just don't like people who have Jeeps.
My dad had a Jeep for a little bit there.
Well, he's on my list.
Yeah, exactly. You're on the list. My Hero is always pretty good. Like if you're looking for a good anime, I don't like what's his name? Ballhead Boy or whatever.
Oh, the one that's lecherous.
Yeah, I that is like the one trope that I don't like in anime, because it's like we already know that you are making this sexier than it needs to be because it's anime. We don't need some character to point out that everybody is sexy and try to grope all the girls all the time. No, thank you. Like, I never liked Master Roshi because of that too. Yeah. Like and to be fair, I came in on Dragon Ball Z, which was so the characters had already been established, and Master Roshi was kind of irrelevant by then, other than as a joke character,
right? Because
he wasn't teaching Goku anything. I don't know if he actually taught him anything in Dragon Ball, but
teaching the Kamehameha and all that fun.
Mm-hmm. DBZ is bottom of my list for anime. 20 minutes of flashbacks and powering up for one attack. Yep, that's always the big trope for it. And you would think that like that would be overblown, but it actually is pretty accurate. Sayuki is awesome. Rurouni Kenshin or Peacemaker Kurogen. Ranma 1/2 was really cool. Yeah, I agree. I liked Ranma 1/2. Casey also does like keep saying Roshi and it's making me hungry. Whoops. Shouldn't say that around my wife, that's for sure. Casey also does like a few of the Ghibli movies.
Yeah.
Yep. Actually, I don't think she's seen Spirited Away.
Spirited Away is good if you like the type of coming of age films. But like my all-time favorite, if I was to say like anime movie, I think I still hold with Princess Mononoke being one of my favorite films specifically.
Yep. Mononoke is definitely like top. And to be fair, I've shown Casey the ones that I really like, which is Princess Mononoke, and my favorite is Howl's Moving Castle. Yeah, I love Howl's Moving Castle.
Calcifer.
Yep, Calcifer's great, and I just like the just the whole concept of her like growing older too, like, and that's part of the plot is her being aged. Never finished that one. Never finished Princess Mononoke, I think is what Casey's referring to here.
What about Kiki's Delivery Service?
I've never seen Kiki's. Yeah, my Ghibli is a little bit lacking. I've seen Ponyo. That was pretty good.
That one was good. I liked it, but it was to me it was weird. And again, this is a cultural difference between United States and Japan, but like it was weird for me to have these kids be like, "We're getting married," and I'm just like, because kids say that and they pretend all the time, but in this one it was like, "Okay, now you're married," and I'm like, "Oh, this just feels weird."
What do you mean you really liked Ponyo, Casey? You do nothing but make fun of Ponyo. I never knew you actually liked Ponyo. I don't know my wife at all. Apparently not. I'm trying to. You know what? I'm gonna pull up. Hey, it's list time, everybody. I'm gonna not, but it's not a list like you think. It is a list of anime that I need to watch. I have a list of actually it's not called list. Anime to get and watch. I have like a 2-page list of different animes that people have recommended to me. Oh, it's 3 pages now. Oof. That I need to get to. So we've got Isekai Cheat Magician, Cowboy Bebop, obviously. Kill All Kill got recommended to me.
That one's got fan service. So.
Yeah, and again, like these are animes that I'm just kind of like I've been recommended to it, and I don't care about worrying about.
I'd just say if you want to watch it, just don't watch it while you're at work. Yeah.
Well, I work from home. Ha ha
ha. Don't watch it.
I'm on a team meeting. Yeah. We should watch it again. I agree with you. Let's watch Ponyo again. Irregular at Magic High School. I think that might be one I have on my list here. Tiger and Bunny, Fate Zero, and of course the whole Fate Stay Night series.
Yeah, Fate Stay the Night is the one I watched first, and it was good. All right.
Yeah. Amagi Brilliant Park, High School DxD, Danmachi, Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, Noragami, Konosuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World.
I just watched the newest season for that.
Code Geass, Dead Man Wonderland. This one I put on here because I had seen clips of it and I think it looks hilarious. High School of the Dead.
Yeah.
with the weirdest boob physics that you've ever seen. Seriously, go check out High School of the Dead Sniper Shot on YouTube, and when you're alone, obviously, and find some of the weirdest physics that you've ever seen in an anime before. Psycho Pass. I've never seen One Punch Man, so yeah, I kind of watched that.
This is hot take. One Punch Man season 1 was great. It was funny, and it was like it was just kind of slapstick. Season 2, I think it was season 2 when they switched animation styles and animation companies. I dropped it after like 2 episodes. I couldn't see.
Okay.
I tried Berserk twice. It's so bleak I can't stand it. The other 2 hours. Yeah, the newest Berserk I didn't. Yeah, the Berserk Ghost in the Shell, Records of Lotus Wars. Yes. The Berserk, I liked the. I'm reading the manga right now, but the one I remember starting to watch, I think it was on Netflix. It was the newer one. I did not like it because of how CG it was. Like the action was very mechanical. It didn't feel as well. But I did like. I think there was an older one that I remember seeing, and I still want to go back and watch it because right now I'm on book 11 of. You can see them in my background. There's like a whole shelf full of Berserk anime. But I'm on the last one before they come out with the newest one, and and that whole arc that shows him like coming to who he is. And once they break down that door and like, oh, it's so good. I'm not gonna give up anything for anybody, but so good.
Awesome.
Very gritty. Or if you like Claymore, Claymore's another one that I enjoyed. That was cool. Very berserk anime, very gritty.
What were we talking? One Punch Man. That's right.
One Punch Man. Yes.
Yeah, I definitely just want to see it because it's obviously like one of the big culture ones, right? That's I have Sengoku Basara, Gantz, Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash, Senran Kagura, Bloodsea. I don't even remember half of these and what they're about, but they're on here. R18 Island, Arslan Senki, Magi the Kingdom of Magic. Oh, I'm not gonna pronounce that one. Oh boy. Dungeon ni de Moto Meru no wa Machigara Daru K. I don't know what this is. I have no idea what this is. Somebody knocked at my door. Come in. Oh hey. Thank you. Wife reveal. Oh no. Thank you. She brought me cookies. Delicious cookies. And then I can just slide them right. But now you gotta take up. You gotta pick up the slack here.
Okay.
With talking.
Can do.
Oh. This is just the full Japanese name for is it wrong to pick up girls in in a dungeon?
Yeah.
Okay. I can just remove that then. Excellent. Wild Wifey appears. Pokemon battle music. I'll capture her later.
Bum, 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 bum.
We've got Magi, the Kingdom of Magic, Irregular and Magic High School, A Certain Magical Index, Little Witch Academia, and the Magi series, and that might be a duplicate in here, but yeah. Card Captor Sakura, I just want to go through it again. Grand Blue Fantasy, the animation. Okay. Recreators. The Devil is a Part-Timer. Gate. You'll never be able to catch me. I'm too. Oh, it's on. It's on like Donkey Kong.
You gotta watch. There's a one on Netflix called The Art of House Husbanding, I think is what it's called.
Okay.
And it's basically, the premise is that there's this what do you call him, the gang leader, and he's basically gone away. He's fallen in love and whatever. He gets married, but he takes like house cleaning and stuff as seriously as he would as like the mafia leader. So he's like baking cookies like super serious, like he's gonna kill someone, and everyone's like really terrified. And then he comes out and he's like, "Here are the cookies, please enjoy them." And like someone eats them, and then like, oh, there's a little too salty, and he falls to the ground.
What is this one called?
It's on Netflix. It's called I want to say it's like the art of being a house husband or something. Let me see.
Okay. The art of being a house husband. I think I need to put
the way
Spy
of the house
Family
husband.
on here.
The way of the house.
Oh, the way.
That's what.
Oh, I do have Spy Family on here already. Okay. Let's see what else we got on here. Gate, the Saga of Tanya the Evil, Log Horizon, Drifters, No Game, No Life, ReZero, Starting Life in Another World, How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. Oh, I'm so behind on Overlord, but I do like Overlord as a show.
Yeah. Wait until you get
It's
to the
sort
very
of a-
last episode of it, and you'll see some D&D references.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite, just kind of like OP MC.
There's some
shows.
isekais that I feel like kind of get mundane, and that one felt fresh.
Let me know how it goes after you chuck a Pokeball at your head. I foresee backlash there. Oh yes, there will be backlash. I've got Zombieland Saga, Zombie Spaceland, not Zombieland. Goblin Slayer. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Hero Man. Samurai Flamenco. Rising of a Shield Hero. Read or Die. Gunsmith Cats. Tenchi. Wise Man's Grandchild. Fruit Baskets. Isekai Quartet. Demon Slayer, obviously, is one of the ones on there that I need to.
You have what's the one I just watched? It's called Jobless Incarnation.
Jobless Incarnation? I don't think I do.
That one.
I do not.
It's another isekai.
Nice. What was the one that you were saying before? The maxed out my
Bofuri, Bofuri. I don't want to get hurt, so I maxed out my defense.
Okay, so it's not. I've been killing slimes for 300 years, and I maxed out my level. That's a different
that
one.
One's on.
Okay, I do have it.
Similar
I don't want to get hurt. Yeah.
That one's also pretty good. It's.
I've got one.
Slice of life-y.
I got one here that I remember. That's called Uma Musumi, which is also called Pretty Derby, and it's about monster horse girls running races, if I remember. And is the changeling pick going to be gray, or is it a chameleon in the environment too? I think base form it probably would be gray. Gunsmith's Cats, all the car engines and gunfire in that show were recordings of actual cars and gunfire. Ooh, interesting. I'll just knock it back at you, Cory. Yeah, okay. You have a cane now. Well, I have a master ball, and you can't knock back a master ball. Actually, I don't have a master ball.
Just capture the cane and.
Yep. But you know what? Kane's got good
Thwarted
special
again.
defense, so I'm okay with that.
I mean, they've got the sword Pokemon now, so the shield and all the other items.
Is that Isekai? Yep, that's Isekai Cheat Magician twice. That's fine. Rascal does not dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. What the heck? What is this doing on here? Oh dear. I'm sure I probably put it on there late at night somewhere. Black Clover.
Yeah, Black
Have you ever
Clover.
heard of that one?
Yeah, it's another coming of age Naruto Bleach type film or whatever series.
Yeah, technically One Piece, Bleach, and Naruto should probably be on this list, but
Big three.
That's a lot. That's a lot of commitment for anime.
You can knock it out in a weekend.
Astra Lost in Space. Do you love your mom and her 2-hit multi-target attacks? That's one of my favorite. I love this about anime is just the weird names sometimes. A certain scientific accelerator, or I think a certain scientific railgun. Ari Ferretta from Commonplace to World's Strongest. The Case Files of Lord El Malloy II. That's a Fate Zero, apparently. Fire Force. Have you ever watched Fire Force?
Yeah, Fire Force is good. It's the premise of that one is that it's a post-apocalyptic type modern day futuristic kind of thing where everyone one day Sol, the god of this world, punishes humanity and people just start to spontaneously combust and turn into demons. And so this Fire Force is basically there to help exorcise those demons or to put them out, but everyone lives in fear of suddenly just bursting into flames and becoming a demon and killing their family randomly.
I absolutely love Japanese anime's tendency to treat Christian mythology like we would treat Japanese mythology. Exactly. Where they're just like, we love this crazy mythology that you guys have over there, so we're going to use it in our anime.
Totally.
Yes, these titles are very weird. Yep. Dr. Stone, Vivid Strike. I don't want to get hurt, so I maxed out my defense. Kobayashi-san Dragon Maid. I've heard
Dragon
things
Maid,
about.
Yeah, I'd say it's a good one.
Tubian Ying Jian Leaf, To Be Heroine. The Testament of Sister New Devil, Heaven Design Team. Heaven Design Team looks hilarious. Where they're basically designing all of the animals on Earth and everything like that, and it's kind of like a slice of life, but they're all angels. Interviews with Monster Girls. I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level. Monster Girl Doctor, Fire Force on there twice. That's all right. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot on here. I won't go through all of them. I heard really good things about My Dress Up Darling. I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, that is I guess the main character likes cosplaying, and so it's about a lot of like cosplaying her characters while also going to high school. Slice of eternal life, yes. And then as far as it goes, we've talked about American animes and American cartoons that kind of evoke the same things. Jackie Chan Adventures is my favorite as far as that goes, though.
Yeah, with like the.
Yep, because I even have my talismans pretty close by, all 12 of them, which is really cool. Anyone seen 3x3 Eyes or 3x3 Eyes? Preston?
I haven't. 3x3 Eyes. Remind me, what's the premise? The one thing that I do say that I have a hard time with. So, I got most anime I ever watched in my life was while I was doing my BFA in college, and it was because I was having to stay up and I would start working on my BFA stuff at like, I don't know, 6 o'clock in the evening, and I wouldn't be done until like 7 a.m. the next morning and then have to go to class. So I'd always have anime sitting in the background. So there's some of them that I've watched, but I don't remember what their names are. 3x3 Eyes.
Love the blue background or blue lighting where it looks like night.
Yeah,
Ooh, yeah, we
like
could do a
nice
little bit.
and cool.
Absolutely, Jackie Chan Adventures is amazing. Agreed. That and Xiaolin Showdown were like my go-tos. And then, of course, I watched a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Do you have a favorite Halloween episode of a TV show, Preston?
Favorite Halloween episode of a TV show? I think we talked about this one before, or something similar before, but I don't know what it is about Halloween. I just don't have. I mean, like, I have scary ones in my head, but I don't have any, like, I can't think of any that are like, oh, that's a Halloween show, without going into like elementary school type American animation.
What about
one where a kid died and like he became a ghost in real life, and then at the end the kids realize he's a ghost, and I can't even remember what it's called, but it screwed me up. Like,
what about Treehouse of Horror from Simpsons? Do you have a favorite?
I actually again, Simpsons was one that I didn't get. There's a lot of memes and things that I've seen, but I haven't watched a lot of Simpsons, so it was just one that I never got to. So
I think I saw a preview of this year's Treehouse of Horror, and they're doing a Death Note.
Oh,
and they're doing a full anime style for it.
Lisa, I saw that. I saw that on TikTok probably. That's cool.
Joe says, losing you guys. I'm going back out into the travel trailer. By the way, more mud and tape on the house this week. Hopefully texture next week.
Woo-hoo. Congrats, man.
I can't believe that we just talked about anime for so long, and I completely forgot about my actual favorite anime, Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, yeah.
It is, and Scott, shame on you for also forgetting about this, because it is literally like one of the best animes that we've ever seen. Specifically, like the tournament arc was so good. Simpsons stopped being good after season 9. Interesting take. And no, I know that's the sentiment that a lot of people have. I still enjoy it though. Oh yeah, doing that kind of yellow for the eyes is really cool. Preston, what's your favorite animated show in terms of art? Richard asks.
Good question. There's been some pretty beautiful ones. I mean, honestly, like I said, Ghibli does a really good job of like making you feel like the food that he sees. That's the worst too. Is like I hate watching anime when I'm hungry, and even if I'm not hungry, I'm watching anime. I usually have to. Fun unsolicited fact about me: when I'm watching anime and it's late at night, I'm usually sitting there with like a quesadilla or something, because otherwise I'll be like watching and I want to go do something fun. But from an art perspective, there's one that I actually saw just recently that I wanted to watch. I think it was actually a Chinese anime that Oh, I can't remember.
Can you please freak out? That gray face is freaking me out a little bit. Or zoom
Sure.
out, sorry. And somebody wants to say, can we try orange or green just to see how they look?
Yeah,
Too well
let's
for
do
the
it.
eyes. Sorry, continue with your...
But as far as like art-wise, I'm trying to remember... Oh, no, we don't want to do that. We're trying to do it. These two grouped up.
Yes, Scott, we do need to watch Futurama again. It has been about time to go around the horn. That is probably the best American animated or adult animated show out there, in my opinion. You can fight me all you want on it, but you won't win, or you won't change my mind, at least.
So yeah, for art-wise, I think Spirited Away was the first. Not Spirited Away. I'm sorry, Princess Mononoke. That was the first film that I saw. I didn't see it as like a cartoon. I saw it like as an art form, I guess. And I mean, there's been plenty others that are very beautifully drawn and beautifully kind of scripted. I think Demon Slayer. It was a art style that it didn't synergize with me. But when they got into the fluidity and showing how like the cuts and stuff made, I thought that was very beautiful, and like how they would think more about like the actual art of swordplay rather than just kind of like, oh yeah, I chop and I slash and then big beams of lightning come out. And
Yeah,
that's good. I like
Family Guy
Guys.
is meh. American Dad is meh to okay.
Yeah, I liked Family Guy because from the premise of that they're okay with making fun of everybody. Like they're not targeting like one specific group, and that's what I enjoyed about them most. But otherwise, yeah, I that's not something I would go sit down and watch.
And see, for me, Family Guy was a lot of my humor for like 10 years there.
Right.
And it still very much like influences
Me too.
my humor as well, because I watched a lot of it. But
Peter,
I can
I'm
recognize
holding melons.
yeah. And I can recognize these days like the ones that I'm like, oh, okay, this one is directly related to, like, this particular style of comedy is directly related to this episode of Family Guy, you know, because that's just what I watched growing up. That and then Futurama was actually funny because I watched Futurama all through when it was on Fox 13, or I guess it would just be Fox. It wouldn't be. That's the specific station for Utah here. But then like I didn't like really watch it or pay attention to it too much until probably about 5 or 6 years ago, maybe 8. And then I started like watching it all the way through again, and God, there's so much subtle humor in there.
Where did that one?
So did we switch those colors around, those eye colors, just to check them?
Yes.
Sorry, I don't know if I missed it or not.
No, I know. So I've got it here. Here's some colors. Different ones. We could go more saturated, less saturated. I'm skirting on like the size of just barely saturated.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the yellow works the best. I think the yellow pops the best in my opinion.
Purple falls into the background. Red starts to. I think green. Like if we did green, that would pop out most because there's so much purple, and that's like the opposite. Let's see, that might make it a little. So maybe I'm gonna do like a greenish yellow.
What was everyone's intro to the fantasy genre? Was it D&D directly or through books / movies? Warcraft 2 specifically, but Warcraft 2 was what got me into fantasy, and then after that, like I even picked up. I have them somewhere. I have the 3.5 Warcraft supplements, basically that they did back in the day. But Warcraft was definitely my first foray into fantasy, and then after that, it was the first Lord of the Rings movie, and then I didn't start playing D&D actually until 4th edition, so it was a while before I started getting into like heavy into that kind of fantasy.
I think for me,
Still feel like the creature should have lightning around it because it looks like the silence.
Yeah, we could give it some Give it some spark. I gotta fix some of the lighting issues, but it's like getting there. For me, I think it was. I used to watch on repeat on VHS. Little Nemo, which was fantasy-ish. Or Little Nemo in Slumberland or whatever. It was that was actually technically the before Studio Ghibli was Ghibli. Mayo Hayazaki or whatever his name is he was actually on that project, and so you can see a lot of the things that he influenced in that movie. But I'd say the other one would be The Hobbit, the animated version of The Hobbit.
Oh, yeah.
I watched that all the time. Like whenever I was at my grandparents' house, there was that, and I remember cheese pizza, and that was like, yeah, it was a staple.
One of my favorite memories as a kid, we got to do the whole medieval court. Like we had a day where we all set up like a medieval court and ate food and whatnot. And there was like a poison tester and things like that. And everybody got a specific role. And mine was Bard. It was basically like the entertainer, right? It was like minstrel or something like that. And so I spent like the week before on Napster finding fantasy like music to play, and then I found the Leonard Nimoy Hobbit song, and I loved it so much that I learned that song so that I could lip sync the words during that feast.
That's hilarious.
And I danced around to it and everything. Yeah, it was hilarious.
Another deep web, old web stuff. Did you ever watch One Ring to Rule Them All? There's a Flash video on Newgrounds.
Well, maybe.
Ring goes on, ring goes on, ring goes on.
Yep. Thank you. That reminded me exactly what it is.
Yep, that's the one. And when there's more,
the Rankin Bass Hobbit specifically. Yeah, the Rankin Bass ones. I was watching. I watch a lot of Corridor Crew on YouTube, and they talk about VFX and animation stuff. And they were talking about how there are several shots in the Rankin Bass, like Lord of the Rings movie, where they literally just rotoscoped actual. Like it was cheaper for them to get actual extras to march as an army and then rotoscope them as that army in cartoon, rather than paying an animator to do it. Yeah, rotoscoping definitely does make like a more fluid motion kind of thing. I'm trying to think of like which animated show for me is the most like, oh man, that animation is so great. Most of the DC animated movies, I think, are pretty good animation. There's been some controversy that some of them are taking fight moves from other fight scenes and just copying them, which is interesting. I've seen comparisons, and yeah, there are some similarities. I think. Oh, speaking of DC animated, if you have not seen Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, that is actually a really good show that even to this day, like, is amazing in just like the way that they do like storylines and set up things, and like it's got an overarching plot to it that you just kind of go like, wow, I can't believe that they actually managed to pull this off. There's a couple issues that I have with it, with specific characters, like Hawk Girl. She's just there to get knocked away. She's completely useless as far as it goes. Ooh, that red is interesting.
Yeah. What I'm trying to think here is like, if they're more chameleon, right, and maybe it's agitated in their natural form, right? Do they have some kind of you ever watch Home? It's the one with the guy from that Genius show. What is it called? I have seen Home. And he changes colors when he's mad and sad or whatever.
Yeah,
that's something like that going on.
Bruce Timm is number one with animation. Yeah, Bruce Timm does really good animation, despite the fact that like a lot of obviously when you do an animated show, you can't do big complicated fight scenes because you're on a budget and you're on time constraints, right? Like you can't do like these big sweeping shots unless you have the budget for it. Big Bang Theory was the show.
Big Bang Theory. Yeah, that's the one. I never watched it. I've seen plenty of clips, but
yeah, such good character development for. Oh, what is this? Sorry, this is Pirates of Deep Water. Never heard of that one. Pirates of Deep Water. Interesting. Once you get when you get to the 80s, for me, it gets really hard for me to watch the older cartoons because they are very much the animation is very quick cut in it. Even Transformers, even watching the 80s Transformers movie, which should have had a budget, to fit that TV show. Some of the fights, I'm just kind of really, you couldn't spend a few more frames swinging that punch or kind of adding a little bit there. Oh, you know what is actually a really good show as far as fight scenes go, though? The new He-Man, Masters of the Universe.
One on Netflix?
Yeah, the one on Netflix. So good. I know a lot of people didn't like it, specifically for what it did with the characters and everything, but I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, this is another hot take too. I liked what's it called? She-Ra. That was one of those
She-Ra?
movies that I liked what they did with it. It was cool, and I enjoyed the journey that it brought us on. But the one thing that it caught me off guard is I didn't feel like that she needed to have some love interest, and then at the very end, they just decided to have her and Catrick kiss, and it was just huh?
Where'd that come from? Yeah.
This whole time, she says, there's no. It just caught me really off guard, and but the rest of it was great. It was just one of those things where, I don't know, it just cheapened the anime for me.
Mm-hmm.
Made it feel like it wasn't as well thought out and scripted. Everything else was it felt very calculated and very made sense, and the rest of it just, I don't know, just kind of fell off. Dragon Prince, you ever watched that one?
Yeah, I've seen a few episodes. I haven't watched it all yet.
That one's pretty fun.
It's that type of half CG animation that I'm very much my brain rails against a little bit, so I have to ease into it. Casey says, this is really good, Preston. You must teach me to draw in color. You got to donate more than Anthony in order to get Preston to do secret lessons. Don't start donating, Casey. That's my money.
Lesson stream.
Yep. And then they're talking about Peter Pan and the Pirates with Tim Curry as the voice of Captain Hook. And Zodlander says, no, just the Muppet version. No. Muppet Treasure Island is the best Muppet movie, hands down.
We've got Captain
in my opinion.
Fever. We've got Captain Fever with Tim Curry.
Yep.
Honestly, that's where.
But I ordered shrimp scampi. For me, it goes Muppet Treasure Island, then the Muppet movie from the reboot one with Jason Sudeikis in it. Not Sudeikis. Jason Sudeikis? The guy from How I Met Your Mother. And Amy Adams.
I am the worst with names. I
can't
tell you.
Somebody will correct me.
Someone in the chat, tell us.
And then right after that, it's Muppet Christmas Carol, because we watched that pretty much any time there was an English TV or an English class in the wintertime, we ended up watching Muppet Christmas Carol. Jason Segel, thank you. Not Sudeikis. +1 for Muppet Treasure Island. Abs.
Not Steven Seagal.
Not Steven Seagal. Oh, it's so good. I need to watch that show. Every time I watch that show, it just takes me back. Such a good little show. And Muppet Christmas Carol is probably my best or my favorite version of the Christmas Carol.
I agree. That stands out way more than any of the others I remember watching.
Yeah, but we shouldn't talk about that now. That'll be December that we talk about.
Halloween. We're talking about Krampus.
Yeah, that's right. Krampus is a great movie, actually. It's one of our Christmas movies that we watch, which is going to be expanding, because typically Casey and I watch... Yeah, we're going to do Violent Night. Yeah, we're going to expand to that. Typically we watch Gremlins while we're wrapping presents. And then once Scott is awake, we watch Krampus with him, which is always a good time.
That'd be fun.
My cousin gave me a bunch of old DVDs after his divorce. Got so many old classics. So that's always a fun treasure trove to get. Like, here's a box of DVDs, and you start going through them, and you're like, oh man. For me, it would be a box of VHS tapes, though. That's how old I am, where I'd be going through and be like, oh man, I remember these VHSs.
Yep. It was 100%. He just got rid of a whole bunch of VHSs.
Yeah.
But there was stuff in there like my Pokemon 2000, and it had like the coin in it, and it still had the card, like.
Oh wow.
All that.
Pokemon 2000 was a good movie, actually.
Yeah.
I almost liked it better than Pokemon the movie. But you can't really go wrong with like talking Mewtwo, and that one was just.
The remake was pretty cool. Like, it was cool to see them change it, but I think the original, maybe it's just nostalgia talking.
Yeah, I haven't seen the remake actually.
They have a new one on Netflix that they did kind of like a updated animation style.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, because they changed that animation style maybe 10 years ago. At this point, to kind of just kind of a different look. Honestly, they did it to make Ash look more in line with his age, because he looked like more of a teenager rather than a 10-year-old kid. But I never liked the idea of Ash being a 10-year-old kid.
Yeah, he's always been.
Honestly,
either he's a demigod, he's already dead, and this is just like his replay of life.
Mm-hmm.
He can't be living.
The coma is my favorite explanation.
Maybe.
But one thing I did like, or that always made me or bothered me about that show, Pokemon specifically, is whenever they would make like the rice cakes and call them donuts.
Oh gosh.
And they're always like, oh, the donuts are ready. These donuts look great. And I'm like, that's not a donut. Do they not know what donuts are? And when I didn't realize that it was just Americanizing the words. That was one thing that I learned about Sailor Moon, is that there were two, in the Japanese version, there's the two, Jupiter or lovers. And they made them, and in order to make it more palatable for American audience, they made them cousins or...
really good friends,
but no, they made them full on family to try and be like, that's why they say they love each other, But there's a lot of like flirtation between the two of them too, so it just comes off as like incestuous.
Yeah, just kind of like, this is getting weird. It's funny.
I always love going down the member berries, going down nostalgia a little bit.
I agree. Fun to remember where we came from and where we're going and all that stuff.
Reminder to everybody who's here, a sad reminder, I suppose, there will be no episode of Tales of Aneria next week. It is our off week. I do have something planned, but it all depends on if I get it out in time. I'm sorry to the fans out there, but I don't like the JoJo art. My autism reacts badly to it.
I feel the same. I felt the same.
I don't really like JoJo either. So
and again, I think it's cool. Like, and I see the memes, and I think it's funny, and it's contributed in its own way to the culture. But I just don't. I don't know. It doesn't jive with me.
Yeah.
And I think it's that very hard. Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, I watched Yu-Gi-Oh! The first one, right? And I have no problems with it, but the art style always bothered me. And it's the same thing that bothers me about JoJo, is it's got that very hard, angular, like, shadows, and it's just...
Yeah. I guess they do have a similar art style. I never really minded Yu-Gi-Oh's art style. I was usually distracted by the fact that the rules were all over the place. Because I was at that perfect age where I was like,
I can draw
listening and trying to figure out
dragons.
Yeah, and I'm just like, no, you can only have so many in your deck. Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't understand.
This is not how it works.
and then they came out with so when they first did Yu-Gi-Oh, the first season, they hadn't come out with the game yet, and so there were no official rules to it, right? Mm-hmm. So they just kind of did whatever they wanted willy-nilly. They were like, oh yeah, well now this fusion monster gets fused again, and then it gets fused again, and then it gets fused again. And it's like, okay, all right, sure. I'm going to follow along. But then when they got into like the season 2 or the second arc, where they were doing the Battle City tournament, that was after the game had released and had specific rules to it. And they full on were like, okay, well, we have rules now, so we're going to like weave those in, but we're also just going to kind of forget about it if we
Right.
need to for the plot, Got a lot of shit from my friends about JoJo. Yeah, sometimes, like some people just don't like a show. You just gotta, there's, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who don't like half of the shows that I talk about, but it's not gonna stop me from talking about them.
It's true.
Looks at all my pile of Yu-Gi-Oh decks and Digimon decks. I have a problem. I never got to play Digimon. I don't think I even got cards from it. I'm not sure if I was collecting cards at that time, but I did love Digimon as a show. I think it was very fun. In fact, my parents, for my sister's birthday last week, they did a nostalgia banquet dinner kind of thing, like 5-course meal. But it was like course number 1 was cheese and crackers that we used to have growing up, and then they did like ramen and mini corn dogs, and like all these little things that were just like, these are just like little fun, not really serious things that we used to have after school growing up. And they placed out all of the little like Pokemon and Digimon figurines and the finger skateboards
Yeah, tech decks.
out on the table, the tech decks, yeah. And Scott ended up taking home all of the Pokemon and Digimon figurines, so we have those now.
That's so awesome.
Okay, so it was released in 2020. Yeah, definitely after my collection time. I basically have limited myself to one single card game at this point because I cannot do everything anymore.
Yeah, man. I have all my Magic cards from forever ago, and they're all up in. I used to collect. So I had Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, Pokemon, baseball cards, and I haven't looked at any of them since. But like, I have a friend or a brother-in-law who's like, if you ever get rid of that box, you should give it to me. I'm sure you got something in there. Like, nope.
I'm sure Scott would love to buy it off of you.
That's I've broke it out once or twice for the kids so we can sit and play the different games and stuff. But
yeah.
Commander deck. You finish to sell right now?
Currently
man,
almost $2,000.
Dang. That's awesome.
I mean, it's nice to have like little investment things like that where it's like, that this isn't going to be your retirement, but at the same time you're like, this will, if I have an emergency, I can have this in case,
Yeah. You guys remember Monster Rancher?
Oh, I love Monster Rancher.
Yeah.
Holy crap. We used to play the PlayStation game Monster Rancher 2.
Yeah, that's the one that I played too.
Yeah, like so good. Apparently it's it's actually on Steam now.
Is it?
Yeah, you can purchase it on Steam. I'll pull it up. Monster Rancher 1 and 2 DX was released in December 2021. And then they've actually got like codes that you can go on a website to basically pull up the disc code for something.
That's
rather
crazy.
than yeah.
That's so cool.
Ah, so good. Such a fun show too. I was sad that didn't get too many seasons. Monster Rancher PS1 game was a banger. Is that sound coming through still your the stream beats?
Yeah.
Okay, it just sounded a little louder than before, so I was wondering.
Let me know if I can turn it down. I think the genre might have changed.
Okay. Casey says she's loving this so much, so. Cards I have, electric type Mantric Fold. Yeah, I was thinking back about all of the Treehouse of Horrors that they have over the years, and I think my favorite episode, and this is just a wild tangent that I'm going off of here, going back to something that we started talking about, but never finished. My favorite episode was the one with Pierce Brosnan in it. The three, I can't remember what the third one. Oh, the first one was the Leprechaun in that series, where the Leprechaun the Gypsy curses. Sorry, I can't say that. The Romanian gypsies. Oh, jeez, I'm just screwing up. The Romanian curses the family, and then they have to get a leprechaun to try and like decurse them or take out the Romanian woman. And it's a problematic episode now, considering like you're not supposed to call people gypsies anymore. Like it's a derogatory term. But then the next one is Marge and the family get a smart house, and it's like HAL 9000, but it's Pierce Brosnan's voice that they give it, and he falls in love with Marge. The house does. Casey says she's going to attempt the drawing of the pumpkin beholder. Ooh, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, and then the third one in that is like their Harry Potter spoof, for their third act, and I don't know, that one was just like my favorite Treehouse of Horror there. All right, it's finally warm enough. Hang on just a second. Oh boy.
How's it come off?
Couldn't make it to the end of the stream. So close.
I mean, you had like 11 minutes, man. 11 minutes.
I know. I was close, but no cigars. No cigars.
No cigars for you.
Yeah. Give me the bat. Oh yeah, the Shining episode of the Treehouse of Horror. Yeah, that was really good too. Yep. The Shining. It's like when they say midgets in Once More with a Feeling episode of Buffy. Can't say that. Yeah, like can't do that anymore. Another great Halloween episode from a show that I love is the Buffy Halloween episode where there's two of them. The one where they end up all becoming the costumes that they're wearing. Basically whatever costume they're wearing at the time, they end up becoming that specific creature, and they have to fight off that curse on Halloween night. And then the other one is where they go into the haunted house that's actually like being controlled by a fear demon. That one is really good if you're a Buffy fan, and remember how that one ends. That's the one where you find out what Emma Clawfield, or whatever her character is named, Anya or whatever, what her biggest fear is, because she dresses up like the scariest monster she can think of, and she comes in a bunny outfit, and not like a sexy bunny costume or anything, like a full on like frumpy like full onesie bunny. Anya, thank you. And it's hilarious.
It's like it reminds me of Bill and Ted's, and he's like, when they go to hell or whatever. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is the second one, and they meet death. It's a pretty fun one. You should watch it. And there's one point where they go through like their whatever it's called, and he's like sitting down and he's eating a bunch of candy, and then the Easter Bunny comes and he says, "Are you eating your brother's candy?" And like it's super creepy. Then the bunny starts chasing him down the hall, and then the other guy's aunt's like chasing him, and it's like everything in a dream sequence. It drudges up all those bad memories.
The costume change, I think, is the first season, or first episode, but yeah, it's in the first season. I believe that is the first season's Halloween special. Yeah, I need to watch Bill and Ted too. I'm currently paying on a special Christmas present. I hope your fiance is not listening. For a Christmas Bahama cruise, so I am glad my play group allows proxies because they cost pennies instead of Benjamins. Angel was where Buffy characters went to become cool, so I stopped watching Buffy and watched that instead. Never made it to the musical episode, for example. Honestly, season 6 and 7 of Buffy were pretty fine, but Angel, I think, had the misfortune of losing Doyle in the first season. I loved that character, and they got rid of him for conflict reasons or whatever, the typical stuff it is. But yeah, first Halloween episode in Buffy was second season. Oh, because Spike was there. Okay, yeah, so probably would be.
But Charmed,
that one. Charmed was pretty good. I never watched past when Phoebe died, or
then
whatever.
Where
they had 3 sisters, but they had a secret 4th sister the whole time.
Yeah.
He passed away in real life. That's why Doyle was gone. Okay, yeah, that makes a little bit more sense. It's sad though. What was the The episode in Angel where Angel gets turned into a puppet is my favorite episode, I think. Like, they go full on Muppet with it, and it's hilarious. Yeah. We have had a very stressful year, so wanted to try and end the year on a high note. Well, I hope it goes really well. A cruise sounds like just what the doctor had ordered in that case. Doctor ordered.
Doctor Who ordered?
Yeah, conflict with death. Yeah, unfortunately, there was a scheduling conflict. You are supposed to not be here anymore.
You have died.
Yep.
Hey there, you're awake.
Caught you trying to get across the border, huh? Couldn't get into Buffy. It's not for everybody. Like, it's very much like, especially if you try and watch it now, because it suffers from what all TV shows back then suffered from, like a lot of like kind of sexist tropes and a lot of just campiness that really doesn't play well today, especially if it's like a Monster of the Week thing. Yeah, hence why I would like to get a beagle and name him Doyle. Yeah, that's the goal. Is whenever we get a beagle, Casey and I are going to name it Doyle, just because we think it's the perfect name for a dog. It's really cool to see like a full process from you, Preston. Like, I know we do like a lot of sketch work here and try and move on to get like multiple in one night, but like every now and then it's really good to just see like you go through the full like shading process and adding some contrast and everything. Like, so good.
Yeah, it's fun to so often to get the
smile time. That's right. That was the people for Angel.
I think.
Yeah.
This guy's too close.
And I know that Joss Whedon is kind of like a hot topic or a hot button name right now because of his sexism and whatnot. But if you haven't watched The Nevers, his latest show that he wrote, it's actually pretty good. It's a cool little like concept that they did for it.
All right, obligatory Ollie shot. Wanting to come up and say hi to everybody.
Alrighty, gotta get the puppers in there.
All right, here. You're gonna do the rest, right? I need you to hold here. Here we go.
Blind dog challenge.
Blind dog challenge.
Like the red shade on top of the picture now. Nice lightning effects, Preston.
Yeah,
shadows really add.
I was trying to do lightning effects without detracting from him, and so I was trying to give it like this. I don't know, like something's off feeling, I guess.
Yeah, it almost looks like the world is cracking behind him or being distorted a little bit.
Ogma's eyes in the background peeking through some portal. So. I have any other we could put you were saying like about having them in the background and stuff too. I was thinking of them. Let's see here, give me a second. I can't think and do this at the same time apparently.
The dog is Floofy. Hi doggy.
Yeah. Little
Ollie just gets a shout from Casey.
Ollie
just shouting. Prince a boo boo.
Yep. Prince a boo boo. Okay, so we're gonna try this. Not permanent. I just wanted to see what happens.
Just like creating more.
Come on, that's not what I wanted. Go
Oh dear. Oh Lord.
There's more of them. Copy paste. We're gonna do this and turn off the shadow layer. Make this a smart object because I don't want to have to figure out how to move it.
Understandable.
All the layers. We can flip them horizontally. Now he's doing a.
He casts mirror image. Don't talk to me or my son ever again. That's the vibe that this is giving me.
Right.
Yeah, it looked cool. Like when you placed it like a mirror image. I agree.
Is that kind of ghostly?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Make them a little opaque, a little spectral. Almost looks like the aliens from Signs.
Yeah.
That movie. When they're watching the birthday party clip, and the alien passes by, that was the freakiest part of that movie for me.
Yeah, that jump scare.
Yeah.
The rest of it was, I guess, creepy, but
Yeah, it was creepy, but it wasn't too bad. Does it copy clothing too? I would assume that most doppelgangers. So I guess it kind of depends on the media, obviously, but because it's just easier to hand wave it that way. Yes, they copy clothing as well. Because there's so many because it doesn't seem like they should. Because clothing is different from skin as far as that goes. But a lot of shows, they will at least be like, oh, they copy underwear, because it's one of those things where it's like, we really can't show nudity that often, without being labeled with a higher rating or anything like that. So most shows will just be like, yeah, they copy clothing too, like Mystique. Mystique can copy clothing, even though it's just her skin technically.
True. All right. So this is a fun thing. I don't know if anyone has ever messed with it. It's called the Puppet Warp Tool.
It's called a what? Sorry.
Puppet Warp Tool.
Puppet Warp. Oh.
And you start to pin certain parts of the body, and you can actually get it to begin to transform based on pins that you put down, like a puppet.
Interesting. Nice.
So.
Oh, right. The Signs aliens that die from sneezing and water. I don't think they do die from sneezing. I think that's just the War of the Worlds aliens that die to the germs. Does it copy clone? Oh, they can stand as their own doppelganger boy band, boys to everyone.
That's right.
Love it. Oh man, if you guys want to see a hilarious, speaking of War of the Worlds, look up because we'll talk about Futurama again. Let me see if I can find what it's called.
Trying to get some thriller vibes here. I can gyrate the hips.
Just look up the Futurama Scary Door compilation. And wiggle those hips, getting a little twerking going on there.
Snapping his hands, doing the thriller.
Yeah.
Or do like a midnight. I'm gonna make those drop down a little bit more.
New conspiracy theory: there's only one boy band, and it's always the same doppelgangers that just get bored every few years and change up their style.
I love that.
I mean, doesn't the latest K-pop band have 7 characters? What, the one that everybody loves with Jimin in it or whatever? What is it called? What is that K-pop band that everybody likes right now?
BTS.
BTS. Doesn't it have 9?
I don't know if that's the right one. PTSD?
Yeah.
No, that's the wrong one.
PTSD. No, I think it's BTS. Behind the scenes. But yeah, maybe they multiply, and then they're like, oh hey, we only need 5 doppelgangers for this boy band, so we got to kill some of you off. That sort of thing. All right. Thank you, Preston.
Doppelganger
This looks
boy
amazing.
gang. Look for it in your local Tales of Aneria Discord.
Yep. Yeah,
And
don't forget to join our Discord. Don't forget to like this video and leave a comment afterwards if you want. It'll help out getting it out to other people who maybe didn't get a chance to, or want to find us. Once again, no episode next week for Tales of Aneria. There will be a video if I can get it out on time. We will see. And we'll be back next Friday with another paint stream. Painting is art, but we'll be back next week with another paint stream. Scott is either going to finish the Eldritch Dragon that he started. I don't know if you saw that last week, Preston, but it looks really creepy.
Looks pretty cool.
Yeah, amazing work as always, Preston. Agreed. And yeah, thank you guys for joining us. We love having you here. We love basically just sitting down and chatting for 2 hours on Friday with our fans and our friends. You know, because you guys are friends at this point.
Yeah,
you talked with us enough that you know my intimate secrets. You know my guilty pleasure anime. That means we're like really close. Ooh. So yeah. Alrighty. Thank you, Preston. I really appreciate you flexing your art as always.
Always. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Have a good night.
Bye.